first thing on a Sunday morning and the birds are singing in the trees. And I'm about to go and record a shop update. And this will be a little bit of a coop cast here. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Woolly Thistle podcast, coming to you from the gorgeous state of New Hampshire. I haven't said that for such a long time. Audio podcast listeners will know that I would say that at the beginning of every episode. And I felt silly saying it on camera, but that just popped out. And talking about the audio podcasting is obviously on my mind. It's on hiatus right now because something had to give with how busy it's being during this time of COVID. We're very busy. You guys are shopping with us and I thank you for that. But for the first 6 to 8 weeks, I don't even know. It was very difficult because we didn't have staff coming in and they were working from home. We finally got the hang of how we were to do that the most efficiently, but of course by that point then the governor lifted the work ban. So now people can come into the shop and other people are packing, whereas I was the primary packer for quite a few weeks back there. So I just didn't have the time or energy to also do an audio podcast, all that to say. And I have been actually thinking a long time about retiring the audio podcast, though I'm very emotionally attached to it, and I know that I have lots of listeners who do enjoy it, although I'm sure seeing the yarn on video makes a lot more sense. So I think the jury's out on that. And if you have any thoughts though, like you did last week or last episode, leave your comments in the thread about whether or not you'd be really upset if that went away. It's been going for 5 years and I am attached to it, so I feel very reluctant to let it go, but at the same time you can only do so much. Right, anyway, so all that to say, hello and welcome to the Woolly Thistle podcast, shop update. It's good to have you here. You may have just been enjoying my chickens, which I put a little video up from first thing this morning when I was leaving my home to come to the shop here and record this. It's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning and the chickens are happy and doing their thing. So we'll have more chickens. We'll have more chickens at the end. I was going to say coopcast because we used to call it the coopcast on the podcast, on the audio podcast. So yes, so I want to bring the coopcasts back in Technicolor for you, not just sound. There's some cheeky video at the end as well, so stay to watch that. So yes, thank you for being here. There are so many good options out there for you to spend your time watching, so that you, if you do spend time here with me, I really appreciate it and enjoy your company. Thanks for your comments and your thumbs up and subscribing. We are this close to 4,000 subscribers. Amazing. So yes, if you know a friend who would enjoy this podcast, please tell them to come check us out and to subscribe, and we'll flip over the 4,000. Yeah, numbers, you know, I try not to pay too much attention to those because they can cause a lot of unhappiness or inflated happiness maybe. But I do want to mention that we recently just went over 17,000 followers on Instagram, which is amazing. And our Ravelry group is well over 3,000 members now. So we are really gaining traction here, and it's because of you. So thank you so much for shopping with us and watching us and communicating with us and following us and all the things. Really, really appreciate it. Right, so yes, so obviously that means follow us on Instagram or Facebook or both, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and sign up for our newsletter. That is the main way that I keep in touch with you now. It's a very consistent, chatty newsletter that I send out every month, and it's where I tell you everything that I know about that's coming, and so you have a heads up. When you're on our mailing list, you will also receive first notices of things that are coming to the shop, and usually lots of people want those things, and you have the best chance of discovering them and you know, just knowing when things are going to happen so that you have the best chance of nabbing that if that's something you're interested in. But it's really good to have you following us and subscribe to our newsletter. So thank you for that. It's a way that I get to know you too. So let's talk about the winner of this episode's giveaway, and I'm realizing as I'm talking that I haven't drawn anyone. So we will put the name of the winner there, and congratulations to whoever you are. Winners are chosen at random from the comments, and if you see your name pop up here, congratulations. Send us an email to info@thewoollythistle. Put YouTube winner in the subject line so that we can see you quickly and get your $25 gift certificate out to you. And we'll give away another gift certificate next episode. So all you have to do is leave a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and give us a thumbs up. So if you've done those 3 things, you're in the running for a $25 gift certificate, can't speak, gift certificate to shop here at the Woolly Thistle anytime you like. All right, now let's just get stuck right into what I'm knitting, because I want to take off what I'm wearing, at least this part. So you know, this is the Burra Cowl by Marie Wallen, and we did get some Jameson Spindrift in, but not in the colors needed to complete this. We're waiting for those. So as soon as that arrives, which I don't know when that'll be, we will have more Burra Cowl kits in the shop. And the reason I'm wearing it though is because I'm wearing again my Vanilla Sweater, which this is the last one I completed, and the one that you're all knitting too. And I blocked it and washed it again since the last episode, because I'm wearing this 2 in a row here, because I think I overstretched it when I blocked it last time, and so this is blocked to the dimensions. Now you shouldn't have to worry about it really, but I think I really did stretch it when I laid it out, and I thought, wow, that looks huge. But this is the way it should be. And I love this thing. I wear it constantly. I wear all of mine constantly. Push this chair back. And I feel very comfortable and confident in this, you know, which is important, because, you know, I'm not a huge dress up person. I don't have the, you know, perfect dimensions. So to find something that I really enjoy wearing and I can change up with color and with modifications, longer sleeves, longer body, waist shaping, you know, things like that, but you can do it all from this very basic vanilla pattern. But I love the easy breeziness of it, the bagginess of it, the relaxed fit, and that you can layer it or not. And I'm wearing this even though it's warm outside, because I wanted to show you just how well this Burra Cowl goes with just about anything else you knit. I have my first one here, which is knitted in 4128, and you can see that that goes again. 4128, this is 4125, and there's a needle in there, and I'll tell you why shortly. And then this is the second one I knitted, and this is 404 or 405. I think it might be 5, but we're actually, this is back ordered, so we don't have this one in stock. 404 is the next darkest color. But can you see just how well this cowl goes with everything? So when you see these cowl kits come back in the shop, I would highly recommend that if you're interested, you nab one. This is 4125. And I know some of you wanted me to tell you how to do that, and maybe we will tell you how to do that in a future episode. This one I made longer, and I really actually love wearing this one. It's longer, but it's still the same every other which way, except for the little details here. I did this 2 different ways. So oh, there's a thread. So this, I just started knitting the last row and cast off using, that's annoying me, using the gold yarn. But on the neckline you can see I did a purl bump row, and then I picked back up the gray and finish my 1x1 rib there. You can see that's nice and neat. What's lovely about these sweaters is you can tell the front from the back without too much trouble. I always do that. I always will put it on the wrong way around if there's an opportunity, and then be clawing at my neck the whole time. Yeah, so thank you for the amazing, amazing response to the vanilla sweater. Sorry, I'm trying to fix everything. It's pretty messy over there, so we don't want to show that. Or maybe you want to see that. More boxes. Messy, messy. Okay, let's settle down. So, thank you. It's been overwhelming, and we sold out of pretty much every color of Rauma Finulgarn that we ever had. By the time you're seeing this, there should be more stock in there, and we are now pre-selling the 20 new colors, which include 4125 here. We're pre-selling them because they're coming in from Norway, and we have a date for them getting here, and if we keep our fingers crossed, it should all arrive and be here by the end of May, and we are planning to get your yarn out to you the beginning of June. It's all a bit touch and go, honestly, because of COVID, trying to get flights for the yarn to get over here. There's just not as many flights now, and they're all stuffed with, you know, all these other things that people are trying to send over. So they have been able to find flights for the yarn, and it's coming. So the end of May. And then we'll get your orders out to you. Thank you for your pre-orders. Just amazing. This vanilla sweater has really captured your imaginations, and I understand why. It's exactly what I needed, which is a very basic, mindless knit that results in a very wearable piece. I mean, you can't go wrong. Now, why do I have my darning needle in here? I have it in here because, let's see, I promised way back when that I would show you how I make perfect my underarms, and that is not perfect. Oh my god, my hair gets everywhere. Let me get my hair off of this. So for the most part, the other three underarm joins are pretty invisible. If I show you the other side of this arm, well, that one could use a little bit. I'm usually so happy with my underarms on this sweater that I don't even go back. Yeah, look, I don't even go back and close it. I think that's really fine and good. And there's the other side. So these I haven't, and you can see there's a tiny pill. That's it. I have not depilled this. So that is what I ended up after I joined my sleeves, without any going back and fixing. So I want you to be able to do the same thing, but if you do need to go and fix a little area, even this one I'm okay with, but this one's kind of big. And one very helpful viewer said, is that a huge hole in in your sweater? I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. So I'm going to close this for you right now, and I'm going to show you how I do it, so that if you need to do the same thing, you can. So I'm starting with a length of matching yarn. You will probably, of course, have a tail from where you joined your sleeve and your body together. And I'm going to take this darling little darning mushroom. I have several of these. I've never put them in the shop yet. But this is from Turn Studio. He made these little darning mushrooms. Some of them were really small, and I didn't feel were big enough for the job. So I haven't put them in the shop. But you know, as knitting enthusiasts, it might be really nice to have a miniature darning mushroom. And darning mushrooms, if you don't know, oh, off we go. Another tangent. So a darning mushroom is when your socks get full of holes in the heel, say. You put your heel in like this, and then you can start to repair because you've got a nice surface and you're not going to sew through both layers. My mum, I think my grandmother had darning mushrooms. This is a spalted beech. I think that's how you say it. You can tell by those lines. Anywho, all right, so for the purposes of this sweater, and I mean, I can get my finger through that hole, I'm going to put my darning mushroom right there. Okay? I'm going to hold it like so. I'm going to try and do this in a way that you can see. Now, with stitches, you've got the ladder, and then you have the leg. You don't want to be picking up the leg. The leg will just pull and not do a whole lot. What you want to do is pick up the ladder. Now, you'll be coming from inside out, so this won't show, but I'm just going to put it there for now. And then you want to get the next ladder stitch, and I'm going to take this ladder stitch. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm working around the ladder of each stitch, staying right next to the edge of the hole. And then if I pull that and let go a little bit of the fabric so it can do it, then that is finished. And then I'll even, to secure it and close it up even more, I go through, always going through the ladder. Hope you can see that. All right, and then all I'm going to do is tuck that back through and weave in the end on the underside. So that is, let's show you. I'm going to just weave it through. No, I won't bother weaving in the ends yet, but there we go. And let's get rid of this first end. So long as you use the ladder of the stitch and not the legs, you'll have a nicer, smoother. Completely closed, right? That's the other side without being done, and I would say that's just fine. And now where I had that finger-sized hole, where is it gone? And I'm pulling it. There, I think that's good. Hope that's helpful and interesting. Okay, I'm just trying to get rid of my needle. Yeah, so if you would like one of these darning mushrooms, I'll put them in the shop maybe. But they're darling, and I think for any knitter enthusiast who has a collection penchant, that might be something you really would actually like. Okay. Where were we? Yes. So, we're out of stock, but we have pre-orders coming of the new colors, which range from 4120, 20 colors to 4139. All of those are coming. You'll have that in the beginning of June, and we have scheduled round 2 of the KAL. So if you're waiting for yarn and you couldn't get it in time, or if you're knitting with us now and you want to knit another one in June, because this is a totally doable project in a month, especially if you're home due to COVID, then you're welcome to join us in June. So we have a new cast on date of June 15th. And then we will cast on, for me, it'll probably be sweater number 5. So that's good and exciting. And just, thank you so much for really loving on the vanilla sweater. I hope that lots and lots and lots of you knit it, even if you're not knitting along with us. But, there's no reason not to knit along with us. It's a free group and we are friendly, and there's lots of questions that have come up that others have answered, and that is something I did want to give a shout out to, are the people who understand what they're doing and are helping those who have questions. They just get on it and answer it. We actually lost power on Friday night, the night of the cast on, so I wasn't able to participate. You know, like I literally, and this is what being a mum is like too, you know, the minute your butt kisses that couch to knit, somebody wakes up. That was my whole life when kids were little. So yeah, they wake up from their naps. But I sat down, I was going to cast on, and the lights went out and it was dark already. And I gotta say, I was so tired, I just went to bed. I thought, you know what, it'll be fine. When I woke up in Saturday morning, there was tons and tons of chatter happening because everybody was casting on. People had questions already, and many of you responded with the answers, which was so great, because if you were waiting for me, that would have held everything up. So I really encourage and appreciate those with knowledge in the group to share it with those who are asking questions. Those people are going to learn how to knit a perfect vanilla sweater. And then maybe in June 15th cast on, they might be there to help some newbies that are coming in June 15th. We've had a lot of people who are brand new to KALs, and we've had a lot of new sweater knitters, and it's fabulous. So everything about this vanilla sweater has been surprising and exciting and really, really rewarding. So thanks for knitting it. Thanks for knitting it with me in the Ravelry group, and for helping those newbies who have questions. All right, so what did I cast on for number 4? Because this will be my number 4. I don't have a lot of choice. Myself included doesn't have a lot of choice for colors, but there was enough of this, and I was really excited to knit this because this is my comfy place with color. But, oops, ooh, but it's exactly the same as this, except it's dyed on white, so it's a solid. This is dyed on grey, so it's heathered. Now I could do that, but I think I've decided that for now I've got another box of yarn here that's in the shop. You guys will have had access to it before now, before you see this, so nothing exciting there, but I'm going to raid the box and see if I can't find something different in the color family to knit. So yeah, I guess watch Instagram and watch Ravelry to see what I end up being able to knit with. What else am I knitting? There's another KAL happening. It's like KAL City here. Maggie and I started 52 weeks of sock KAL back on May 8th, and where you could knit anything from the book 52 Weeks of Socks. So anyway, this is the intersection sock by Marcelene, who is Hey Brown Berry. It's pattern number 1 in the book. I'm a confirmed cuff down person. These are toe up, and I thought, I'm just gonna knit it the way she said, and I loved it. It was really fun to knit toe up. Now I've freakishly small feet, and they're wide, they're sort of that shape. And so these took no time at all, but aren't they pretty? And of course I'm knitting these with the new John Arbon Exmoor sock yarn in my comfy color, which would be 4128 in Rauma. It would be H28 in Tuku. And in this is Bibblebub, I think is how you say it, is it? Yeah, Bibblebug. Great names, great label. So we like this very much. I think perhaps by the time you're watching this, if not, then very soon after, there will be a John Arbon Exmoor sock yarn update. Again, we're not able to get all the colors. There's a delay at the dye house due to COVID-19, but we'll get a lot of what we can. And that will be in the shop. So I hope to finish those soon. Where am I on the second one? Did I not bring the other sock? I didn't bring the other sock. I am working my way up the foot on the other sock and looking forward to turning the heel. Very nice, easy heel turn on that one. So what else am I knitting on? I showed you last time, oops, that I was knitting my Hansel hat by Gudrun Johnson. And so now I'm working on the border. This is knitted in Jameson Smith 2-ply in natural shades. This is 27. This is 202. Found this down the back of my couch. I don't have balls of it in the shop because of COVID, but I think we're getting cones. This is 54, which is a slightly darker grey. And I don't know what the other colour will be. I'm getting a little hung up on my corners. I really not sure if I'm doing the corners, if the corners are where they should be. I think it's going to be a matter of blocking the corners right. Yeah, hopefully. But anyway, this has been on the needles for an awful long time in timeout. I'm knitting this off a cone. I showed you last time. I've only got this left, but that's plenty. And when you knit off the cone, for Jameson Smith anyway, and probably for most yarns, it still has the spinning grease. So it feels very narrow and flat, crisp, but it smells good. It smells like wool. And then when you wash it, when you give it a soak, it's gonna fluff up and be lovely. So this is a big square hap that I'm looking forward to having. I think of all the shawls, I say this, of all the shawls in all the world, I do love a hat. Although I am really tempted by Patricia P4 Chen, who's Knitography. She's got a little collection of shawl designs knitted in Rauma Finulgarn that are beautiful. Just really nice and quite up my street. So I could see me knitting one of those in the not too distant. I think that's it for what I'm knitting on right now, but let me tell you about what's happening in the shop. We have free shipping for $99 and up, which is a really good deal. And our Knitting Buddy program is still going. If you're still looking for someone to join up with, leave a comment on the thread in the Ravelry group and Maggie will match you up. Our Stuck at Home thread in Ravelry is also really good, and there's some treasures in there. My most recent treasure to find in there is a new audio podcast called Fiber Nation. Thank you to the person that left that recommendation. It's a really good, enjoyable listen, professionally done. And I just happened to listen to the first one that popped up. It was, I think, episode 8. And it was talking about textile history and just how far back cloth goes. And that stuff just gets me so excited. So they mentioned a couple of books in there that I'm going to see if I can get. So do give them a listen. I think that you will enjoy them too. Fiber Nation, I think it's by Interweave, so it's a production. Really good, really good. And I'll be listening to lots more of that. What else is going on in the shop? So we are knitting along our socks, and that is going nicely. People are talking away in there, which is good. Lots of different socks from the book being knitted, and of course you can knit with any yarn you like, just you've got to knit from the book. And our Vanilla Sweater KAL is just so energetic in there. It's fantastic. And we have our second one casting on June 15th. So join us again, or stay in the first one if you're there. I mean, what I mean is stay in the first one anyway, but if you want to cast on a new one in the middle of June, then you're welcome to start chit-chatting in that group too. We are having some preamble in there because we're all waiting for our yarn. Let's see what else. I did a live update, I think, since we last spoke, where I showed you the different colors of the Rauma Finulgarn that we had. I think that was in between the last episode and this, and you guys were very lovely about that. Thank you for getting me through that. It was quite scary. I haven't done another one since because I think it was easy enough to do that one because I was showing you the yarn very specifically. I think otherwise I need something else to talk about specifically, and I'll figure it out. But I should do more because it's a nice way of checking in with you in between the couple of weeks between these episodes. So if you'd like that, let me know. And okay, so what else is coming? We have every issue of Lina magazine, and I think lots of you are, filling in the blanks of your library, which is a good idea. We have all of them except issue 5, which is no longer in print. By hand. Before I move on to by hand, 52 Weeks of Socks is no longer in print either, but I did see that they're coming out with 52 Weeks of Shawls. right? So that's going to be really, really good to see. I don't know what stage they are in it, but I'm excited about that because I think 52 patterns of shawls is a really good idea. Yeah, and I'm sure, I hope there's hat-like shells in there. Yeah. Anywho, I don't know what is. I don't know where they're at with it, and I don't know what's going to be in it yet. But I did see that. By Hand 12 will be going on pre-order soon, or maybe will be on pre-order when you see this. By Hand 12 is from London. It's their first international issue. They'll be visiting places like Merchant and Mills and Loop of London. I'm convinced that it will be a beautiful, beautiful edition because they all are. Her photographs are colorful and cheerful, and it's a feast for the eyes. So I'm looking forward to those coming in. I have them on order, and I'm sure I can open pre-order soon, if not already. And I have By Hand 11, which is New Hampshire and Vermont, and By Hand 9 is coming back, which is Nova Scotia. So yes, 3 of my favorite places. So I want to support that. If you didn't get the Nova Scotia issue, I think that's well worth a purchase. And it's one of my dreams actually, is to head up from New Hampshire, go all the way up to Nova Scotia, PEI, because there's lots of good yarny fiber goodness up there, and that would be a really fun trip. I love going north. I'm definitely a cold weather enjoyer, much more than the heat of the summer, which is coming. The bugs wake up as well, all that. Anyway, I digress. So By Hand is coming, and we are updating our Rauma Finulgarn and Strickgarn just as quickly as possible, and you know the situation with that, so we're working on that. Frangipani, I need to order more. We do have plenty in stock, but it has been selling, so I need to get more of that. That'll be in soon. We have, or had by the time you watch this, a big tuku order come in, both fingering and sock yarn, because that's doing really well. And then let's see, Lopi. So we have been selling a ton of rusty cardigan little yarn sets with a tote bag, woolly thistle tote bag, which is really, really good. So we'll be getting more Plotalopi in. The photo I use on the product page and on Instagram was taken from Lori x5, who's my friend Lori Graham out in California, and she has a beautiful Instagram feed. If you don't know Lori, I find that hard to believe, but if you don't know Lori, go check her out. It's Lori x5, put that there. And her Instagram feed's very whimsical, travel heavy, although not at this point, and her lovely home, and all her knitting and all her journaling and little stitches and things. And Lori is a lovely, lovely, lovely person who I'm lucky to know. So anyway, she had knitted this a few years back, the rusty cardigan. I'll put a picture here, and I knitted it exactly the same as she did. And but in her picture that she gave me permission to use, there is a lovely shawl in there. Now I'm forgetting off the top of my head what it's called. It's designed by Helene Magnusson of Iceland, so it goes very well with the Plotalopi, which is from Iceland. And it's knitted in Helene's own yarn in a lace weight, or it could be knitted in I-band, which is from the makers of Letlopi and Plotalopi. And so I'm thinking it wouldn't be that hard for me to get that yarn in and see if you wouldn't like to knit that. It's a lacy lace white shawl by Icelandic designer Helene Magnusson. And maybe I should look at getting Helene's yarn in. If you have any strong thoughts about that, let me know. She has a beautiful yarn line that has many colors that reflect the Icelandic landscape. So I would be willing to check that out if there was interest in that, so do let me know. I know many of you are waiting for Katie's Kep to come back in. We have it in Jameson and Smith colors, which is the creamy pastel pinks, blues and greens, maybe not blue, greens and pinks and purple and cream. We will have more yarn kits for that coming in just as soon as our Jameson and Smith order arrives, which may well have come in by the time you see this. So keep an eye out for that. If you have clicked the notify me link, you will get an email as soon as that comes in. Please, if you know, whenever you see these emails come in, you got to jump on it right away. because lots of people are always waiting. You know, if chances are, if you like it, other people like it. I always say this, you know, while you're waiting for that item to come in, really, really have a little soul search with yourself about whether you want to spend the money, because you have a pause, you have to wait for it. And so at that point you can decide, yes, I really want this, I'm going to jump on that email as soon as it comes in. Whereas if you're not sure and then it comes in and you're like, yeah, I think I will, everybody else will have been in before you and you'll be disappointed. So when you have that pause, really take the time to reflect on if it's something you really want. And if it is, and you go and do it right away and there's still a problem in that they sold out, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. All I can do is get more in and keep stocking for you. And I'm always happy to do that. So hopefully, you know, nobody gets disappointed or overly disappointed, and it's all good. So anyway, all that to say, more Katie's Kips yarn sets are coming in from Jameson and Smith. We did get a little update of Jameson Spindrift yarns, and we were able to make Brissa kits and a couple of other things. Oh, the seaweed sweater, just a couple of those because we didn't have enough yarn. And that's not because I don't order a ton of yarn from them, it's because of what they're able to send me at the time. So I am expecting more, and at that point I hope we can fill Yell cardigans, maybe more seaweed slipovers, and it would be really nice if we could do the Katie's Kip as well, but we get what we get. I don't know, we'll see. So that's that. What else? We recently just topped up with Daughter of a Shepherd, and we got more of her broom 4-ply and DK weights, more ram jam, which is big bouncy skeins, and then her heritage 4-ply. Oh, this is soft and silky, very, very woolly, of course. But maybe the best, or one of the best things, is its smell. We'll try and keep that locked up for you and capture it when we pack your orders, so that when you open your own, you get hit by a very sheepy deliciousness. I do. I love the smell of wool. I love the smell of sheep. You know, call me weird. I am a yarn sniffer, which is actually a perfect segue to something else that's new and coming to the shop that I am super, super, super pumped about. You might have noticed that I'm wearing nail polish, and that is because I have commissioned this. These are 3 colors of nail polish made especially for the woolly Thistle. The nail polish is vegan and it's made here in the States. And I got the pleasure and excitement of naming them. This one here, Fearless Steeker. That's me. This one here, Watcha Swatchin'. I'll hold them back so you can see. This is Watcha Swatchin', Fearless Steeker, and Yarn Sniffer. So these will be going in the shop as sets of 3. They are, of course, quite woolly Thistle colors. These are made by TaylorMade Polish, who is a business friend of mine, and I'm very happy to be able to make our own line of nail polish, which I think for knitters makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I mean, we spend a lot of time looking at our hands and nails when we're knitting, and it makes you feel, you know, dressed. So sets of 3 will be going in the shop: Yarn Sniffer, Fearless Steeker, and Watcha Swatchin'. If you have any recommendations for names, that might be a really fun thing to do. In fact, that's what we're going to do. Why didn't I think of this before? Leave a comment with your suggested names for colors, colorways, and I already have a few picked out for my next group of colors. But you will win a set of Woolly Thistle nail polish when you leave a comment and if I pick your colorway name, then I will send you one of these. So this episode, we're giving away a $25 gift certificate. Just leave a comment. But if you also leave a second comment with a suggested colorway name, and it can be as cheeky as you like, and I pick that name and make a colorway with it, then you will win this. I'm really, really excited. I don't think anybody is selling nail polish to the knitters, and why not? Why not? I think this is a great idea. So yes, the nail polish is great. I just have one coat on. I put it on a couple of days ago. Probably should have done my nails again, but I love this polish. It stays on nice, and it makes me feel very smart. I have yarn sniffer on my toes right now, but I'm not going to show you that. I'll save you from that. All right, so what else? I think that's it. Oh, well, just to tell you, we do have more Garthenor in or coming in. We have more of their lace weight, their fingering, I think more worsted weight. We are getting the DK weight, which I didn't do the first time, so that'll be new. And yes, so lots of Garthenor coming in. Daughter of a Shepherd is in, and more Marie Wallen. She's back up and running again. She had to close down during the initial COVID time, but she is now open. We had British Breeds come in, and that went in the shop. Thank you for your orders of that. And her books are back, so that is all good, and we are back to normal with that, which is really good. We have Little Grey Sheep coming. We have their DK, which is the Hampshire base that we've had here before. We are getting the Hampshire 4-ply. That will be going in the shop. And, well, I'll save that bit for another time. So we're going to have 4-ply and DK. And then we will have a little bit more of Spindrift when that gets here. I have no idea, so I can't promise anything. All right, I think all that's left to say is if you go out, be safe, wear a mask, and take your knitting. And with that, we'll have the chickens take you out. Take care. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye.